guys, Julia here from JM Squared Vintage. Welcome back to the channel. I am here today with the ship with me. These are things that came in over the weekend. And honestly, I'm running a little bit behind. I had some technical difficulties with my printers over the weekend. I got it solved yesterday, but it is now Tuesday. It is also in the afternoon, so I am feeling some pressure to get these things packed up and to the post office ASAP. As always, I'm running late, and as always, I've got 800,000 things to do the rest of this afternoon. But before we get started, if you are new here, if this is the first time we're meeting, hello, I'm Julia. That's my name. We talk all things thrifting and vintage and reselling on the internet here. If that sounds like something that you are into, consider hitting subscribe down below. I would love to have you along on this journey. But guys, I've got to say, of the things that came through over the weekend, we've got some blisteringly fast sales here. I think with the exception of one thing, everything sold within 2 or 3 weeks. And a lot of these sold in 2 or 3 days, a lot of these sold within 1 week. So either way, get your pen and paper out and take some notes on what we've got here, because these are things that have sold very, very quickly. But guys, without further ado, we've got a lot of stuff to get through. I'm of course running late, so go grab yourself a snack, grab yourself a drink, sit back, relax, and let's get into the shipments. So the first thing that sold here, and I knew that this was going to be a pretty quick sell. This is a big oversized scarf from J. Crew. It is 100% cashmere. It is in like brand new condition. I mean, it doesn't look like it's ever been worn. I see things like this on here. Oh, and this is just from fall of 22. Pretty new, but usually I see stuff like this on a scarf like this, and I think this was probably like never worn. Because if you wore it, chances are you would have taken that little tag off. I'm just gonna hit it's cashmere. I wanted to pack this first because it is a dark color cashmere and it's just picking up every piece of lint in the house. So I knew that this was gonna be a quick sell. It's very classic, it's very luxurious, it's very like, you know, forever, forever, forever in style. These are kind of things that I love to get. You know, if you can find them, I don't find them all that often. I do find a lot of scarves, but when you find high quality scarves, like this in like a cashmere or in a silk burnout velvet, I'm sorry, my tape is making funny noise today, so we're just gonna have to deal with that. These are the kind of things that I think sell quickly because they're not size dependent, right? Like this is the kind of thing that anybody can wear. It doesn't matter what size they are. It's just something, you know, you just throw on over an outfit and call it a day. So when I do find them, I snap them up very quickly. So this one I had listed for just 1 week. I had it listed for 85. I can't read my own handwriting. I had it listed for 85 and got an offer for 60, which I gladly accepted. I wasn't quite sure. The sold comps on these, there were a couple different colors, and I saw a bunch of sold comps everywhere between $50 and $100. So I just kind of like went in the middle and was happy with getting any of those numbers. Again, it sold within a week, and with a $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $44.47. I hope she absolutely loves this. It's such a great piece. Like that'll forever be in her closet. Next up is this beautiful little white soft surroundings blouse. It's 100% linen, it's oversized. I think this is a size large, so it's definitely more of like a tunic length, and it's got this pretty like ocean blue embroidery. I love these little details that Soft Surroundings has. Look at the cuff here. See how it's got like the bottom part of the cuff is a little bit more extended than the top part of the cuff. It's those little details that make pieces look elevated. I knew that this was gonna be a quick sell once it did go up, and I'm happy it did. It's got little mother of pearl buttons too. It's so cute, so summery. Oh, it is an extra large, sorry, not a large. Still a tunic length, still definitely a larger, oversized fit. Soft Surroundings, it's funny, I had a couple months there where I wasn't finding much of anything, and the stuff that I did have in my closet was taking, like it was just sitting, it wasn't moving at all. And recently it started to pick up. I started to find some more pieces while I was out sourcing, which is always exciting. Soft Surroundings is pretty expensive, and they are closing down their brick and mortar stores. I believe that's what I read. I think there was a lot of rumors out there that they were closing for good, but I think that they're just going to a catalog only basis, which isn't terrible. But anyway, this was a beautiful shirt. I knew that once I got it listed, it would go really quickly. It's a perfect summer shirt, definitely classic with a little bit of a twist. And I had this listed for $34 for 1 week. Literally 1 week to the day, and got an offer for $26, which I did accept with a $1 cost of the bins. This brought my profit to $22.63. Such a nice shirt. It's going down, what is that, North Carolina? That tracks. Next up here is this cute little kimono. This is by a brand called Rothy. I just love the print on this. This feels very like vintage wallpaper to me, and I am a sucker for vintage wallpaper. This is, again, I think a boutique brand. It's got this cute little like crochet detail on the back. These are the things that I pick up all the time. I don't necessarily care what brand they are. People love kimonos. They just love them. And you know what? They wear them as like regular clothing over a shirt and like a pair of jeans or a pair of shorts. And then some people use them as like swim cover-ups. So they're dual use. They're usually, for the most part, sizeless. Let me see. No, just one size. They're usually sizeless. Again, it kind of goes with the scarves, right? So it doesn't necessarily matter what size you are. You can purchase these. So automatically, like, your buyer pool is 5 to 6 to 7 times higher than anything with a size on it. So I love to pick up these kind of pieces because it's something that, like, if you're a size large and you want to get that bundle discount, you can throw this in. Likewise, if you're a size small, same deal. You can throw this in and get a bundle discount. Or if you're a size large or a size small or a size extra large, you can still buy this and it doesn't matter. So they're always like really good, reliable sellers for me. Like, unless I'm finding something that is like Johnny Was or even soft surroundings, for the most part, I'm not gonna like get much more than $20, $25, and that's gonna be on the high end for most of them. Sometimes I'll see 15 bucks. It's still, when I'm sourcing them from the bins for $1, it's still a good profit. You know, like, that's nothing to sniff at. You know, a lot of people operate on that kind of profit margin, you know, because they're sourcing their pieces from higher dollar thrift stores. Anyway, so I had this listed for a week and a half. I had it listed for $26. I got an offer for $21, which I gladly accepted. With a $1 cost at the bins, this brought my profit to $15.48. Such a perfect little summer sale. I do love that print. Next up, now this was an interesting one. I was not necessarily anticipating selling this until fall. This is from By Anthropology, and I've talked about By Anthropology before. It is one of the Anthropology sub-brands that sells really, really well for me. Everything I've had from there sells usually within like a week or two. So this is a tunic. At first, when I picked it up, I thought it was a sweater dress, but the slits, if you can see, they go all the way up to here. So this would be like, here's the bottom of the armhole. This would be like mid-hip. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you can wear it as a dress, but you'd be really living quite dangerously if you did that. One gust of wind and it's all over for you and for everybody around you. So I thought that this was maybe gonna be something that didn't sell until fall, just because it is kind of a thicker sweater. It is a beautiful condition. I love this kind of like mustard speckle color, but I was pleased that this sold so quickly. This was definitely one of those ones, and I find this a lot with like Anthropology and Free People stuff. I really do search for those stock photos because putting this on a hanger just didn't do it justice. It looked like a sweater dress, so at least, I mean, it's not something that would fit me, so at least I was able to find that stock photo and show how Anthropology like intended for this to be worn. So I had this guy listed for 2 weeks at $36, and my sidekick sent an offer for $32, which was accepted. And with a $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $22.58. This is such a cute and unusual piece and really beautifully made, so that always makes me very happy. Next up, this is a cute little dress from Paige, as in like Paige denim. This is the label you're looking for. I'm very selective with what I pick up from Paige. I find that their clothing does a little bit better than like their jeans for me right now anyway. And this was like an extra small, but it is a perfect little black midi dress with little slits. Is it on slits on both sides? Slits on both sides, and it's kind of like this nice slub, like worn in fabric. But it's just a perfect little closet staple. It's not like bodycon. This fits like a sheath, so it kind of skims the body. Just giving this one last little hit with the clothing depiller. I found a little spot of bubbles here. And guys, let's have a moment of silence for my old clothing depiller. I literally just bought the exact same one. I looked at my Amazon purchase history and I had bought the last one in 2018. So not only has that lasted, 6 years of hard use in terms of like reselling, but it's also made it through 6 years of my sweater obsession. And I used to have a couch that was canvas from IKEA, and that canvas pilled like crazy. So like every time I washed the covers, I would go through and depill it. I mean, this thing took abuse, guys. If you do not have one, or if you're buying like the cheapest ones that Amazon has, I cannot recommend this one enough. I still like have the tape on it. I want to say it's like 14 or 15 bucks. So it's not the cheapest. It's not like the under $10 ones. It's also not the $50 ones, which you do not need. I can't vouch for this enough, because this little thing has been so rock solid for me. I always have the link down in the description of all of my videos to all of the things that I use, but especially this one. 6 long years, and it finally gave up on one of my own sweaters. Like, it just pulled a thread and it got wrapped and popped a plate off. And I think it's time. You know, $15 for 6 good years. Thank you for your service. So anyway, this is such a cute little dress. Again, a perfect little minimalist V-neck dress, black, slub knit. Now it's extra small. It's Paige, right? It's a Paige dress, so I was gonna grab it no matter what. It is extra small, so I thought, you know, it was probably gonna take a little bit longer for it to sell. So those kind of minimalist silhouettes for sure pick up. They're very much in style right now. They're not something that you necessarily like need to have a specific style for, right? Like, I would wear something like that because it's minimalist and it's a black dress, but somebody even with a little bit more of a maximalist style or a retro style could accessorize this and make it look great. So I had this listed for 1.5 months. So this is one of the things that took a little bit longer to sell, and 1.5 months is not bad at all, especially when you're dealing with an extra small dress. So I had it listed for $35 and it popped through as a full price sale. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That didn't go as planned, but it'll do the trick. So with the $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $28.51. Great little piece. I love picking up those perfect high-end basics like that. They're just easy sells. Next up, now this was an interesting one, and this sold really quick. I picked this up and I wasn't sure what it was. Like, the fabric felt really nice. It's a nice, it's a blue Oxford. And if you're, I'm sure you're familiar with the Oxford fabric. If you're not, it's like not quite as smooth as like a broadcloth. It's got a little bit of texture to it, almost like a peak. I do not know if this is coming across on camera. Either way, it felt really high quality, and it is a popover, which is something really different. And the tag said the Nutter, and the tag looked kind of higher end. So I grabbed it and I brought it home, and sure enough, this is made by Chubbies. Like, Chubbies, the brand that makes those kind of novelty short swim trunks, which, by the way, is definitely a Bolo brand. Now, caveat with that is that they don't sell for too much. You'll sell them for probably $20 or so. But if you're sourcing inexpensively, they're definitely something you want to keep your eyes out for, because people really look for them. And I would say, in particular, especially right this very second, in particular, you want to look for their kind of like red, white, and blue trunks. I've sold several pairs of them, and they always sell really quick, even in the winter. So this is made by that same company. I gotta say, the quality is really nice. Super impressed. But I had this listed for 2 days only, and I had it listed for $28 and got an offer for $20, which I did accept. Chubby stuff, again, isn't gonna sell for a ton of money because it doesn't retail for all that much. I wanna say this retailed for like $70 or so. So after 2 days, I got an offer for $20, which I did accept. With a $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $17.68. Great little piece. Love things that like come in and come out that quick. Next up, now this is another thing that I wasn't sure how long it was gonna take to sell, but I had a feeling it was gonna be kind of quick. These are some Lululemon Align leggings, but they're ribbed. They're like ribbed Nulu. And I had never felt this before. I do have a pair of ribbed shorts from Lululemon, which for a minute there I thought were the Align. They're not. They have like a more slick fabric to it. I think they're actually the ribbed version of the New Luxe. But I don't think that they make this anymore. I don't think that they make the ribbed version anymore. And it's fairly recent, so I was pretty sure that this would go quick. However, it is a size, I can't remember if these are a size 2 or a size 0. So there's always the question mark of like, is it gonna go quickly or not? Now with Lululemon in particular, size 0s are less precarious than buying in most other brands, and the reason for that is kids. I can't tell you how many of my friends' kids are begging them for Lululemon leggings, you know, and they're whatever, they're like 10, 11, 12 years old, and they will probably fit into a very small women's size. So this will go faster than your average extra small size. So just something to think about. It's not like I would never turn away a size 0 in a pretty recent Lululemon design, because there are younger people that really want them, and unsurprisingly, their parents don't want to go and drop $100, $118, in this case, on a pair of leggings for their kid that they're going to grow out of within the year or so. So, perfect example of where you can use that sizing strategically to get these things to move. So I had this listed for just 2 days. I had it listed for $60. Again, these were $118, brand new, and they were in like new condition. I got an offer for $49, which I gladly accepted, with a $1 cost, and this was a sale on Mercari. My profit on this ended up being $48. So super happy about that, and hopefully that is exactly what that's going to, and hopefully that mom just saved herself $68. Next up here is this cute little Free People Movement sweatshirt. This feels brand new without tags. This does not feel like it has been worn at all. Like there is. So this is called the All Sport Hoodie. These are the kind of things that'll be in style for a long time. It's just a classic, you know, vintage style hoodie. It's got slightly wider cut, some interesting details on the hem there. On the front, it's got like a raw edge hem. Fully lined hood, which I always love to see. So I had this one listed, okay, there were two that took over 2 weeks. This one I had listed for just under 2 months. And I'm not super surprised. It is kind of a heavier weight sweatshirt. So definitely something that would probably sell a little bit faster in the winter time versus the summer, but there is a market for them all year round. It's just a little bit less intense in the summer. So I had this listed for $45 and got an offer for $35, which I did accept. The $1 cost of the bins has brought my profit to $27 even. Definitely a great piece. Definitely something, I want to say that these hoodies from Free People retail near $100, so that's always great. Next up, now this is a little Carhartt sweatshirt, and I grabbed it. I mean, it's Carhartt. I'm gonna grab pretty much anything Carhartt, especially at the bins. This is in great shape, and it is vintage. And when I say vintage, I mean, I want to say that this is probably early 2000s. It's definitely been well worn, and I gotta say, like, you know, Carhartt is known for its quality, and I can tell why. Like, this has been washed so many times that the back tag is completely white, and it feels like it's never been worn. Like, it feels so nice and crisp. It's not vintage, right? Like, there is a whole market for true vintage Carhartt, especially the work jackets. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, but I'll see if I can find a picture and kind of put it right there so you can see. Those are the kind of things, like, you know, it doesn't necessarily matter what you find it with, like, it will sell. If it's vintage, it will sell for a high dollar amount. And there are a ton of resources out there that show you like what to look for in the tags, because that's a whole art form unto itself in terms of like dating it. And it does matter. Like if you are trying to sell something as vintage Carhartt, it does matter what age it is, what condition it's in, etc., etc. But this, I mean, like Carhartt, no matter what, will sell pretty quickly for me. It doesn't matter what it is. So because this isn't like vintage, I wasn't anticipating a huge dollar amount, but I had this listed for $32 and got an offer for $22 within 2 days of listing. The $1 cost of the bins has brought my profit to $16.60. So, you know, when it comes to sourcing Carhartt, if you're buying modern and you're in like a regular thrift store, I recommend doing some checks on sold comps. Sold comps on similar sweatshirts were between like 15 and 30. If you were paying like $9.99 for this, the profit might not be there for you. So don't just blindly buy Carhartt. If that's something that you want to get into and you don't have access to a bins location or like sale days, dollar days, $2 days, definitely take some time to do the comping because it can save your hide a little bit. So next up here is a bundle that's actually going to one of you. And if you're thinking, hey, where did that shirt come from? Did it just magically appear? Yes, it did. Yes, it absolutely did. So this is a cute little boho top from Free People that I just showed on my haul from earlier this week. One of you spoke up and said that you wanted to take a look at it. So I took pictures of it and got it listed and then immediately put it in the wash. Now, this is a utensil of some sort. So any kind of cellulose fibers, I'm sure you've noticed this if you've had them and you wash it, it comes out feeling like stiff and heavy. And that's because cellulose fibers hold a lot more moisture than like a cotton or a silk. Anyway, so because they hold so much more moisture, they take longer to dry. So I've literally had this hanging up in my room with a fan on it for the last couple of hours, just getting it dry. Like just the little like edges where the seams are kind of fold over were just still wet. So I've had it up like being blown dry. I will insert some footage of that right here. So anyway, just in case you want to see some behind the scenes of kind of what we do, just trying to get things out on time. That's a little sneaky peek. And then the other thing she picked up is this super cute, again from the haul on Monday, the super cute Bishop & Young, which is an Anthropology brand, little silky tank top. It's got this like V-neck. It has like a halter look on the front, but then the back is this like draped piece. It's really lovely, very preppy, very summery, silky and light as a feather. So yeah, this was a very cute little bundle here. 2 great little pieces. And I'm glad I finally got that dry because I was stressing out. When I went to pull that off of the drying rack this morning, because I was drying it overnight, we're in the middle of May gray in California. So it hasn't been getting sunny out until like afternoon, like well into the afternoon yesterday. I don't even think the sun came out at all. Today it like just came out and we're already at like 1 o'clock. So it's not like I could put it out in the sun to get it to dry a little bit quicker, so I was scrambling. And I know how long those kind of fabrics take to dry, and that particular shirt is really nicely made. Like the bottom hem is double layered, and then underneath the double layer, it's got the double layer from the hem. So it's like 4 layers of fabric, and that can take forever, and I refuse to put any heat on any kind of cellulose fabric because that's like shrinkage city. So I just had the fans on it. I had it hanging on one of the French doors, just trying to get as much air on it as humanly possible. But 2 great little pieces. I really love that Free People shirt. It was a size medium. I'm looking for one in my size because I love the fit of it. It's kind of like wide and boxy, but not like overpowering, right? Like it's not like a tunic. So I had these listed, and I want to say that the total cost of the 2 was like $66 or $68. And then there was my bundle discount, and then she offered me $50, which I gladly accepted. Same day sales. Of course, I listed these the same day, as we can tell from the whole me scrambling to get that shirt dry, but total cost on these was $2, and that brought me to a profit of $38. I hope you absolutely love these. I love that little Free People shirt. If you see me wearing one in the next couple weeks in my size, you'll know that I found one. Next up, now this was kind of a cool thing. This is a Bolo brand for sure, and I will tell you right now that this is going to be hard to show while packing. So this is a little bodysuit from a brand called I Am Gia, and that is the logo there. Block letters, really easy to see. So if you can see, like this is a 1-shoulder like bodysuit top. It's got this cute little like splice right over the bust. And then it connects on the side, and then this is the bottom part of the bodysuit. So I Am Gia makes like club wear, festival wear, you know, really short dresses, that kind of stuff, and they're really sought after. I don't know if they are intentionally like limited editions or if they just kind of make one batch and that's it and they sell out. But I've had a couple pieces that have sold really quick from that. Yeah, I have no idea how to fold this. So we are just doing our best here. That works. So I definitely recommend that you pick these things up. You will see, and the kind of funny thing about IMG is that I think people pick it up, and I think a lot of it goes out in like shows, because you will see sold comps that are either like $15 or $55. There's very little in between. Now, obviously this isn't a super significant piece, so this was in that kind of middle range, but when it comes to the dresses, like I've had a lot of dresses sell within 1 or 2 weeks for $70, $80. They're really beautifully made, and it's kind of like if you are into that kind of like rave scene or club scene, it's kind of hard to find nice quality pieces. But you know, you're dancing all night long. You need something that is supportive and something that can kind of take dancing all night long. So I love to pick this brand up. I don't see it all that much, but when I do see it, I snap it up, and I will snap that up in a higher end thrift store all day long. I would definitely say buy with confidence, but make sure you are leveraging the keywords on that, like club wear, rave wear, because that's really what people are looking for when they're picking up something like this. So I had this listed for 2 weeks at $35, and I got an offer for $28, which I gladly accepted. With a $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $24.23. Always, always, always excited to find an IMG a piece. And finally here, this was such a cute little piece. So this is a cute little retro style swimsuit, little red polka dot, pin-up style. It's got this that kind of ties around the neck. It's got a full coverage back, and then it's got this kind of like ruche panel that'll kind of like ruche down the bodice. And it's by Esther Williams. Now, if you don't know who Esther Williams is, if you think about old movies and you've ever seen those kind of spectacular swimming scenes where you have synchronized swimmers diving and they're in fabulous swimsuits, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen the movies, but you have seen The Great Muppet Caper, I'm a big Muppet fan. The Great Muppet Caper, Miss Piggy has that like daydream, and she is doing an Esther Williams style swimming sequence. So anyway, so Esther Williams is the star that kind of made that a thing in Hollywood. She was, I want to say, like an Olympic swimmer, and beautiful, and she ended up going to Hollywood, and that was how they were able to incorporate her talents into her films. So there is now a swimwear company named after her, which I love, and they do all these kind of vintage style swimsuits. And I found this was brand new with tags. So I've had this one for about a month and a half, but I only listed it about 2 weeks ago for whatever reason. And I listed it for $45, and I got an offer for $35. And with a $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $27. This kind of swimsuit falls into the same realm of like ModCloth and Unique Vintage and Collective. These are my favorite brands to find because people really seek out those pieces. There's not a ton of companies in the world that make those true vintage style pieces. So the people that are into it, you know, they just have a limited pool to draw from. So those are the kind of things, like, I don't know if I've ever had anything from ModCloth, Collective, or Unique Vintage that has taken more than 2 or 3 days to sell. So when you see it, buy with confidence, feel free to buy up because they do sell for a pretty great price. This, you know, again, is a simple little swimsuit and that sold for $35. So that gives you an idea of the potential profit there. But that is it, guys. That is the shipment from this weekend. I've got to hurry up and get this to the post office. I hate being late on shipments, and technology was not being my friend this week. So I gotta get going. But guys, thank you so much for hanging with me while I literally get my work done. It is so fun to have somebody to talk to while I do this. If you had fun, please consider leaving a like on this video. Of course, don't forget to subscribe. Let me know what treasures that you found. But without further ado, guys, have the most incredible weekend. Happy hunting, and I will see you in the next one.